2016 kind of set the precedent for us as far as special coverage is concerned, and unfortunately the gas really hasn't let off since.
Yeah, you guys not only had to deal with the hurricane and everything that goes with it, but you had, what was it, a shooting in Zachary that right before the storm made landfall, and a couple of other things that popped up in between there.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those situations where, crime does not stop. And unfortunately now you have a lot of people who are frustrated, a lot of people who are without power and hot and timbers flare. We have had people even kind of approach us at gas stations to even kind of just vent about what they're going through. And we share the same frustration because we live here too.
When you said approach your reporters, I was thinking approach them and getting violent, but they're just frustrated and they want their voices heard on TV.
Oh, always. Anytime you have a tag of a TV station on your shirt, everyone's going to be pretty much wondering if you have the most up-to-date information. In most cases we do, and in some cases we don't. But some cases we just have to share that our frustrations are yours.
Absolutely. And you mentioned a second ago, still parts of Baton Rouge without power. About how many people in the Baton Rouge metro are without electricity this morning?
This morning we've seen that number actually slightly increase. Yesterday morning it was at 101,000 people without power. This morning when I got in about 2 o'clock this morning, it was at about 93,000, and now we are about 94,000 with Entergy outages.
Wow. And that's across the city and the Metroplex, right?
That is across the city of Baton Rouge, Central, Zachary, and Baker.
Now, aside from the power outages, we're hearing about gas shortages as well. Gas stations along I-12 and I-10 that do have gasoline have long lines at them. What do you know about the gas shortage situation in the Baton Rouge area?
It's all about supply, and right now it's in high supply and it's in high demand. And right now what we're seeing is an average wait of about 3 hours in the line for some of your bigger gas stations. So if we come across lines in certain gas stations in certain points, typically it's a line for a gas station only because the traffic is blocked and you may not really see anything to indicate maybe something is ahead. You combine that with the lack of power in some areas where those traffic lights aren't working, and it's kind of a perfect storm to just sit in traffic.
Oh, Lord, I thought Lafayette traffic was bad. I shudder to think what it looks like in Baton Rouge right now. In terms of damage, what kind of storm damage did you see in the city of Baton Rouge?
We had more wind damage than anything else, and that's what really has kind of messed up the area with down poles and, of course, older trees, and especially in some of those older parts of Baton Rouge, you have the massive trees and they're falling on those lines. The poles have broken, so they're trying to do temporary repairs to poles as well as pick up the debris and clear off the roadways. But we have so many people getting on the roadways to try and find those essential things that it's kind of hard to balance between the two of them. So at night you have a completely dark situation where crews can't really get out because there's no power. On the flip side, the only working time that they can have is during the day whenever the most people are moving around.
And with the move into fall, they're losing daylight more and more and more as each day goes on. So it's certainly not a good situation for those crews who are trying to work. And I'd imagine because of the darkness over the city, because no electricity still is one of the reasons why Mayor Sharon Weston Broome has continued to implement a curfew.
Yes, but it's actually for a lot of areas, and because we have a very large commuter population that's either to Baton Rouge or to New Orleans, or even to Lafayette, actually. So the corridor is just very busy with people trying to move about, either trying to find gas or trying to get to their neighbors or get to their family members who have power or can provide some type of shelter for them, at least during the hottest part of the day.
Now, we heard about Ascension Parish, the Prairieville man who died after a tree fell on his home. We know that farther east of Baton Rouge, the damage is widespread. But we've not heard about the other side of the Mississippi River in West Baton Rouge Parish. or down into Iberville Parish near Plaquemine. What are they seeing? What kind of damage did they see? How much of a wallop did Ida give them?
I would say I'm a New Iberia native, so I would probably compare Iberville and West Baton Rouge damage to something you would see in a more rural setting, something like in Avery Island or in New Iberia, because it's more open, it's more spacious. There are areas of population, but it's not something that is massively overtaken by debris and damage done, say, for instance, as in Baton Rouge. As far as those areas are concerned, that's actually the best areas to get gas. I hate to give the secret away, but going across the river, you'll probably not have to sit in the long lines across in Baton Rouge. And
you thought the lines in Lobdell were already bad on a normal day. Just wait. People are going to be going to the
right.
Lobdell exit, getting off and going to those gas stations.
Exactly.
For people who want to help the effort or people who may have relatives in the Baton Rouge area, what advice would you give them right now?
I would say the best advice would be to actually stay out of the area. Do not come and check on them. I would offer them a place to stay over with you, but not coming to help and remove debris. Right now, there is just a lot of people moving about. A lot of places are trying to reopen. The power, especially if you're unfamiliar with the area, it's very possible to just run through an intersection and not realize that it's a full intersection and it's a major intersection. I would also, really kind of just take part in some of those community drives. I know that there's some things that are starting to get organized right now. That would be great to donate, whether that's monetarily or even with the basic supplies.
Absolutely. We talked about some of those drives earlier this morning. We'll talk about them again coming up in the bottom part of this hour. Whatever you can do, whatever you can give, certainly help out. Southeast Louisiana, Baton Rouge, and points east of there certainly can use the help. Amanda, I appreciate you taking the time. I know you have a morning show to finish producing, so thank you for joining us. I'll let you get back to your duties. I'll take care of you New Iberia people. Take care of my Irwinville people for me.
Perfect.
I'll talk to you later, Stevie. Thanks again.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Amanda Stevenson, executive producer at WBRZ Television, an alumnus of both KLFY and KATC, I should note. And she is a native of New Iberia. I think Catholic High. 8:35, we'll pause for a news update. We'll come back after this. Acadiana's Morning News is on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.